What is going on, you guys? This is TechHD, and today we're going to be taking a look at a beast of a gaming projector. This right here is BenQ's X3000i 4 LED projector, and it is the successor of the X3000i that I reviewed over a year ago. And I will have a link down in the description below to that video, but this has a ton of new features like having a true 4K resolution, much better colors, and HDR Pro support, and much more. So let's dive in, see what this projector has to offer. So now taking a look at what we get inside the box, we got the quick start guide, the BenQ X3000i HDMI media streaming device powered by Android TV. We also have some support feet to adjust the height of the projector and to make sure that everything is aligned along with the screws. We also have some AAA batteries for the remote, and we have the power cable, and finally the smart remote. On the side we have the focus and zoom knobs, and we have the controls like the power button, the 5-key navigator, input button, the back menu and mode button, and the eco blank button. Taking a look at the I/O ports, we have two HDMI 2.0 ports, and the second HDMI port supports eARC. We also have the 12-volt trigger, a USB port, an optical port, the RS-232 port, and the audio out port. We also have two 5-watt speakers powered by Trovolo audio, and lastly we have the power port on the bottom. We also have a compartment on the top of the projector that has a third HDMI port and a micro USB cable for BenQ's QS01 Android TV dongle to turn your projector into a smart projector. Taking a look at the smart remote, we have the power button, the audio enhancement button, a game mode preset button, a Google Cast button, the input and Amazon Prime buttons. We also have the 5-key navigators, a back, home, and menu setting button. Lastly, we have the mute button, the Google Voice button, a projector menu button, and the volume buttons. Now, setting up the X3000i was very easy. I have mine mounted onto the ceiling and just flip the screen in the settings, and I mess with the zoom and focus and use the 2D keystone to have everything aligned with the screen, and it overall looks great. You also just need to set up the Google account to your Android TV and connect it to your Wi-Fi, and you are all set to stream. Now, taking a look at the specs of the X3000i, it offers up to 4K 60Hz at 16.67 milliseconds with fast mode enabled. You can also do 1080p at 120Hz at 8.33 milliseconds and 240Hz at 4 milliseconds in response time. The X3000i has a 4 LED light source and has a brightness of 3000 ANSI lumens and has a color accuracy of 100% in DCI-P3, and also supports HDR Pro and HLG, and is going for $19.99 US. Now, like the X1300i version that I reviewed over a year ago, I'll leave a link down in the description below to check that out. This is a 4 LED gaming projector, and what that means is LED projector has a much wider color range, and you get more accurate and saturated colors compared to lamp-based projectors. That's why the X3000i is capable of offering 100% DCI-P3 color accuracy instead of Rec. 709, and why it supports HDR Pro. They also emit less heat since they are LEDs and are so much quieter, and there is no warm-up period when turning on the LED projector, so you'll get the set brightness right in the beginning, and the lifespan of the LED is much longer than DLP projectors. 4 LED projectors also emit an additional blue LED to standard 3 LED, and that increases the green light to about 40%, increasing the overall brightness of up to 12%. Paired with BenQ's auto color calibration, you'll get a much more consistent color throughout the lifespan of the LEDs. BenQ has an article all about this that goes much more in detail, so I have that link down in the description below if you guys want to learn more. Now, during my testing, I used the Xbox Series X and PS5 to play all types of games. In the settings of the Xbox, I'm able to play at 4K at 60Hz and 1080p at 120Hz. But like the TK700 projector that I reviewed in my last video, I could technically play at 1440p if I mess with a few settings, but only at 60Hz, not 120Hz. But you can see in the settings that the console is capable of with everything minus Dolby Vision. The X3000i is advertised more as an open-world gaming projector due to it having the added cinematic colors, so RPG players can appreciate the small details and colors, but that doesn't mean that it's not great for other genres of gaming like FPS, for example. But playing open-world games like Elden Ring has been amazing, and the colors compared with HDR and 4K is a huge upgrade from the X1300i. I also tried games like Dying Light 2, and the same thing goes with the colors and contrast. It looks very cinematic and true to life. The 3000 lumens is plenty in my opinion and gets bright enough in the majority of lighting situations, and paired with 4K resolution, everything looks nice and sharp. I also love the 100% P3 color accuracy. It really shows when you have HDR enabled, and paired with BenQ's auto color calibration, you will have a longevity of consistent vibrant colors. Now, I also played some FPS games like Call of Duty, Halo, Apex, etc., and I will say that the 4K sharpness looks great, and I've had no problem playing at 16 millisecond response time. Everything felt responsive and quick, and I was able to react in fast-paced situations. Going from moving something on my controller to it showing onto the screen was quick and very little of a delay, and that's only in 4K. Downscaling to 1080p at 120Hz was even better and seemed smoother and more responsive, going down to an 8 millisecond response time, but you do lose some quality and it is noticeable. Here is a side-by-side comparison of 4K versus 1080p, and you can see that the 4K side being much sharper, but it's all a personal preference and what you would go with. I prefer playing at a higher resolution, and I don't mind the higher response time. But I seriously love gaming on the projector, and even diving into story-based games like God of War, Spider-Man, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks amazing, very detailed and great with colors and contrast. This projector also has different game modes. You have FPS modes, which provides you with a really low response time and enhanced detail like in the shadows, and in the audio like gunshots, explosions, and footsteps. There's also RPG mode, which brings the detail and brings the bass of the audio to really immerse you into those story-based games. And finally, there's SPG mode to provide for more vibrant colors and enhancing the vocals of announcers. Now, getting a bit away from gaming and using the X3000i for watching movies and shows, it's honestly unreal and looks amazing. You pull up a 4K movie with HDR10 support and you will be blown away by the colors and contrast. Now, the best settings I use for gaming and watching movies are: for gaming, I set my picture mode set to the corresponding game I'm playing. I also have the detail adjustment set off because I feel like that increases the contrast too much. I also have the fast mode enabled, and of course to give me the lowest input lag. I usually have my gamma selection set to about 2.1. I feel like that's the best balance in my opinion when it comes to the contrast, and lastly, I keep the light source set to normal. Now, for watching movies in HDR, the projector automatically detects an HDR10 signal and enables it. Now, the only other major thing that I enable is the wide color gamut. Having that enabled will complement the DCI-P3 color gamut and allows for deeper black levels and a wider color gamut, especially adding extra green and red tint. After that, I increase the HDR brightness to 2 and it all looks amazing. Now lastly, this projector is paired with two 5-watt Truvolo stereo speakers on the back and has 4 modes: cinema, music, game, and sports. So now let's take a listen and hear how it performs.
I want to choose my own path, live in the moment. My superheroing days are over. What I told you. You ever feel lost? Just look into the eyes of the people that you love. Not me. What? Just listening.
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt.
The battle is far from over.
It's go time!
Busted a buster.
The legends are already enjoying a unique and challenging new environment. But that's not all. The mysterious IMC armories will reward daring adventurers willing to brave the dangers within. Target down.
Time to break some hearts.
He read the situation defensively and did his job. Lionel Messi. Oh, big chance. Surely. And a goal right off the bat. No wonder they're jumping for joy.
Well, here's the replay, and it's a lovely quick counter-attack that sets up the chance, and then he does well to read the flight of the ball, doesn't he? Just cushions it beyond the keeper in the end, and that seems to catch him off guard. Nice finish.
Now, I will say that this is hands down my favorite gaming projector that I've tested so far. From the amazing detail to the beautiful colors, the X3000i really offers a lot for the price, and I truly love the upgrade from the former 4LED gaming projector, the X1300i. Now, speaking of the X1300i, if you guys saw my review over a year ago, I'll leave a link down in the description below. There were some cons that I had to mention that prevented me from recommending it, like for example the weird glitching and stuttering when you have 1080p 120Hz enabled while having the 2D keystone feature, and also having Hulu not properly working where the audio would continue playing but the video would freeze every few seconds. Well, I'm happy to let you guys know that I've had no problems with that with the X3000i, so I'm glad that BenQ fixed those issues. Now I can comfortably play at 1080p 120Hz with the 2D keystone enabled and having no problems. Now, keep in mind though that having the 2D keystone enabled will increase the input lag, so I only have that enabled when playing open world games that don't require a quick response time. I've also had no problems with different streaming services like Hulu, Disney+, and HBO Max. The X3000i is definitely an improvement from the X1300i, going from 1080p to 4K support, from 98% Rec 709 color accuracy to 100% DCI-P3 color accuracy with HDR Pro support. This projector is a beast and I highly recommend it for any kind of gaming. Now, like every product, this isn't perfect and there are some things that I would love to see in a future model. One being the QS01 media streaming stick that BenQ provides still doesn't support Netflix, and I know a ton of you guys asked in the X1300i video if a Roku or Fire Stick would fit in the compartment of the HDMI 3 port, and I tested this out and unfortunately no. The Roku and Fire Sticks are too long and don't fit properly, and for the Fire Stick the location for the micro USB is farther away and the cable is not long enough. And for the Roku stick, the port is on the other side and that doesn't work either. However, I was fortunate to speak with the BenQ projector team at CES this year and mentioned this issue, and they told me that they are currently working on a QS02 version that will support Netflix and some other features, and they also told me that they are working for a way to provide this to customers that already own an X1300i or X3000i at no extra cost, so I can't wait for that to come out. My other con is, like I mentioned in the TK700 review, I would love for there to be support for 1440p gaming at 120Hz. I see many gamers settling for 1440p monitors for gaming with a high refresh rate, and I would love to see that implemented in gaming projectors. HDMI 2.0 supports 1440p at 144Hz, so it's definitely possible, and I don't see gamers playing at 1080p at 240Hz on a projector, and no gaming consoles even support it. Only PCs, and I definitely don't see PC players gaming on the projector. So I recommend BenQ to focus less on 1080p 240Hz and more on 1440p 120Hz. Lastly, and this is a bit of a stretch, but I have to mention it, I hope for the next gaming projector to have HDMI 2.1 ports to support the Xbox Series X and the PS5, but I know that we're not there yet, but I just want to bring that up. But overall, I truly love the X3000i and what it has to offer and the specs. Amazing 4K quality paired with beautiful colors and great HDR support. This is definitely my favorite gaming projector so far. But there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys do have any questions or concerns, please let me know down in the comments below, as well as everything will be linked down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. As always, it's TechHD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!